Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady and principal owner of Everett Tax Solutions, where we help you win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, and when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the small business community. Okay, so I want to talk about 1099Ks versus 1099 NECs. I fielded 3 calls yesterday with confusion about when to issue what. And it was interesting that I got the call yesterday, which was after the deadline to issue the 1099 NECs. Now, it is better to issue the 1099 NECs late than never. Okay, even though there is a penalty that is on the books for issuing late 1099s, but I haven't seen that enforced. Not to say that they won't. I'm just saying I haven't seen it enforced. But also at the same time, it's still better to issue the 1099 NEC properly than to not issue it at all. But then the question becomes, when do you issue the 1099 NEC versus the 1099K? So first of all, the 1099K comes from payment settlement entities. That's your PayPal, your Stripe. If you accept payments through QuickBooks, they issue 1099Ks. Your payment settlement entities are organizations that help facilitate payments between one party or another, even with credit cards, right? So that's what a payment settlement entity is. And this really got to be the topic of conversation because of the change in the third party reporting requirement. Now, the change was for the third-party reporting requirement, not for individuals to report their income, okay? Now, so what's the difference? The 1099K comes from the third-party processor, payment settlement entity, right? And the new threshold is for all transactions over $600. This is for products and services. Then they will issue the 1099K. It used to be 200 transactions and $20,000. You had to cross both of those before these payment settlement entities issued the 1099K, but that's not the case anymore. Anywho, so now what do you do? So the confusion is about issuing that. Should you issue someone a 1099 NEC if you pay them $600 or more? Now, it depends on how you pay them. Okay, so if you have someone who is a single member LLC, for instance, or sole proprietor, and you pay them in cash meaning a direct debit from your bank, you may write them a check. You may actually use cash. You may also use like the friends and family versions of the payment settlement entities, like PayPal has a friends and family, Venmo, Cash App. They have friends and family versions that you should not be using for business. Okay. But if you do, and you pay someone over $600, you should issue the 1099 NEC. Now, if you're using a payment settlement entity, then you should not issue the 1099 NEC. So if you're paying an invoice through QuickBooks, through Stripe, through PayPal, if you're paying that invoice through there, then that payment settlement entity is going to issue the 1099K. And it's important, I think it's more important to get this right now in this 2022 tax year, because otherwise you're going to have an issue with double reporting. And here's how this looks. So I hire my friend Larry to prepare my taxes, and I pay Larry, he invoices me, and I pay him, $750 to prepare my taxes, right? Now, when I pay his invoice, then he's going to use Stripe, for instance. So if I pay his invoice through Stripe, then Stripe is going to issue the 1099K. I don't need to issue the 1099 NEC. Now, if I paid Larry through, if I wrote him a check for $750, then I would need to issue the 1099 NEC. But what's going to happen is, if you're using these payment settlement entities, like I said, your Stripe, PayPal, QuickBooks, if you're using these and they issue the 1099K, so in this case, Stripe is going to issue Larry a 1099K, and if I turn around and issue Larry a 1099 NEC, both of these for $750, guess what? the IRS is expecting to see $1,500 reported from Larry. But now Larry is going to file his tax return. He's going to accurately report that he received $750 in income, right? Because that's all the money that he made. But then the IRS is going to be sending him a letter saying, hey, based on this third-party information, we have $1,500, so you've underreported your income. And so now Larry is going to have to go through the drama of saying, no, I did not underreport my income. These were duplicate reporting. Right? So it's important that you understand when to issue the 1099 NEC versus when a 1099K is going to be issued through a third-party settlement. So if you pay by credit card, if you use PayPal, Stripe, if you use the business versions of Venmo, Cash App, those entities, those PSEs, and also on Amazon, right? If you sell on Amazon, then they will also issue you 1099Ks. And so that's their job, to issue the 1099K. Don't go back and issue the 1099 NEC, because that is going to cause an issue with reconciling the income and having to deal with the IRS unnecessarily. Now, the question about Zelle, because I know it's coming. Zelle is not a payment settlement entity. It's not a PSE. However, you are still required to report your income. Okay, that's the law. And that did not change. The only thing that changed with 1099K is a third-party reporting. You're still required to report your income. But if you're using Zelle as a way to avoid reporting your income, that's tax evasion. That's illegal. Okay, it is what it is. So if you pay someone via Zelle, for whether it's one payment of $600 or if it's multiple payments, the aggregate total is $600. If you're using Zelle for that, then you would issue the 1099 NEC, because Zelle does not issue 1099Ks. But all the other people, you know, the ones that charge us all these fabulous transactions fees that we just love, then it's their requirement to issue the 1099K. So I really, really hope this helps you out. And if you have questions about that, reach out to your tax professional. Make sure you understand, because the last thing you want to do is cause additional interaction with the IRS. We already know that they're having trouble answering their calls because they don't have the staff, they don't have the funding, and all of those things. And so then what the taxpayer does is then call us, the tax professional, to help fix this issue. So it causes more time, and it also causes the taxpayer more money, because we're not calling for free. Okay, so it's going to cost more time and money regardless of how you spend it. So if you get the reporting right the first time, it can mitigate those kinds of issues. We don't want the double reporting going on. Okay, so I hope that helps you all out, straightens out that whole 1099K versus 1099 NEC. And even if, like I said, if you're issuing a 1099 NEC late, the non-employee compensation, issue it anyway. That's what you are supposed to do. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning into Home Biz Tax Talk, and we will see you all next time. Bye.